Now, does Miss Rawley or Miss Rawley want to speak to this?
Miss Rawley is available. I believe she'd probably like to take the report as read and perhaps open it up for questions.
Okay, fellow councillors, you know this is, you've read this obviously. The suggested resolution here is that the council formally writes to the chairman and invites the new Tūwharetoa Māori Trust Board to a forum to update council on its recently adopted recreation plan for the lake and to discuss how the board intends managing non-crown structures on the lake bed. Now that's the suggested resolution in reply to the letter that has been received, because I think sitting around the table will give everybody a lot more clarity as to going forward, rather than treating things as a piecemeal items. We need to sit down with the owners of the lake bed and work forward from there. Fair comment, Ms. Rawley?
Absolutely.
Move, because
okay. I don't know what the question or move.
Well, it's a new board, and I'd like to meet the new Tūwharetoa.
I think we would all like to sit down with the Tūwharetoa Trust Board. We have a lot of synergies, and we live in this beautiful district together. So to work together is the key optimum, I think. So moved Councillor Downard, seconded Councillor Williams. All in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Item number 10 is part of the legislative spend, so to speak, of the Taupo Water Treatment Plant. Dennis, welcome. You're going to speak to this, obviously.
I'm going to take any questions, Your Worship.
Okay, well, the first comment I'd like to make is what a big variance in tenders. $1.7 million difference from top to bottom.
Correct.
Some people don't need to work and some people do need to work, I'm reading into this.
There's a wide variety of pricing within the individual schedules. It's difficult to make any conclusions out of it other than different contractors have got different ideas about pricing different components of the project.
Well, this council has done quite a bit of work with the, at this stage, looks like the successful tenderer, Fulton Hogan. So I was one of the questions I normally ask you, do you have confidence in your tenderer? But I think I don't need to really ask that question. So does any councillors have any questions about this or comments they'd like to make about it or anything? It's a fairly simple matter. Councillor Minshaw?
It's just to update me, who was doing the work so far to date with all the groundworks?
That's the Hamilton outfit. Oh, what's their name?
Shicks.
What was their name?
Shicks
or something?
Shicks.
Like razor blades, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Shick. That's what it was.
So obviously a different place of expertise to move into the next stage. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, there's a suggested resolution there that the lowest tender from Fulton Hogan Limited for the sum of $8,118,258, and it always amazes me, and some 57 cents. I almost feel like saying, look, you can have the job if you knock the cents off. But then again, Mr. Common Sense is dead, isn't he? That be accepted. You have a mover? Move, Councillor Williams. Second, Councillor Crate. All those in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you very much. Moving to agenda item number 11 is the Huhu Street upgrade. Now you'll just notice it's been brought round to you and handed out, I think it was Mr. Ridd, and he's there, and Mr. Bowden's obviously going to talk on it. This is due to start, I think, at the end of the school holidays after Easter, which is about, as Councillor Johnson pointed out, about 2 weeks after Easter. This work starts.
23rd.
23rd. Yeah. This item is because obviously there will be disruption in the street, and hopefully not for too long or too much. And certainly do not want another Tūwharetoa Street on our hands, Mr. Bowden.
That comment rings in my ears.
We don't want that again, mate. But yeah, so I'll hand over to you anyway.
Well, the report is as read. We've gone through a competitive tender process. I have interviewed Fulton Hogan in person, and I'm happy with their tender and how they've approached the methodology. They tell me they'll have the work finished in 109 days from the 23rd of April, which will take us towards the end of September, which beats my requested programme probably by about 2 to 3 weeks, but that is subject to weather. If the weather disrupts the work, then it will stop, and then the programme may have to extend, but I pray that we'll have good weather and we'll achieve the date and minimise disruption to all the people on the street, the retailers, the business owners and the public, and in that regard all demolition works will be carried out after 5 o'clock. In the tender I mentioned that it will be 5 till 10. I have met with one of the backpackers on 2 Whai Street to advise them of the work and that it may be slightly noisy at night. The contractor has already thought of ways of mitigating that noise by putting sand in the bottom of a truck that's having demolished materials put into it to try and soften the noise. It'll be very much a let's wait and see what happens. If we can work later into the night, the contractor's happy to do that, but only under the premise that we don't upset local people, backpackers who are living close by. So,
Well, the only other thing that I want to be quite sure of in my mind, and I mean 100% in my mind,
yes.
that consultation has been taken out on this project, and by that I mean the people that really matter are the people that own the buildings, the people that work in the buildings, the retailers. Now, I realise some people in the public don't want us to spend anything, I realise that, but where the balance of weight should lie here is with the people that work, eat, sleep and drink in the street and own the buildings and that. So I'm heard, and I'd just like to be reimbursed that this has gone through a process where they've all been in rooms, they've met, and the consensus is that this is all go, they're happy with this.
That is the case. We have had 2 consultation meetings with them where they've reviewed the design. The design has changed from the first design that was shown to council. The central reserve has been taken out at their request. And also we've been in consultation with Town Centre Taupo and the Chamber of Commerce. We have a representative group of retailers, which one of the councillors here is on at the moment, and we'll be meeting next Monday with the contractor and that group of people, and to go through the methodology and the programme. So we'll be having weekly meetings, which I will call construction impact meetings, with that representative group on a Thursday afternoon. They will be advised of the work for the following week. They will advise other members of the retail fraternity on the street on the Friday, and then the work starts on the Monday, and then we'll reflect back the following week on the previous week's work. So we have gone to reasonable lengths, I believe, to advise the retailers, the business owners on the street. We will continue to meet with those people. I personally will relocate from here to Beach Morrison's offices on Hughes Street for the duration of the project, to make sure that I'm there, not say 24/7, but most of the time, most of my working day, there to address any issues immediately. I've also made it very clear in the tender that the foreman who works for the contractor has to have the right attitude to keep in with the business owners, and I'll be monitoring that as well.
There will be issues like dust going in shops and all.
Yes, and we also have noticed that as you walk into most of the shops, the entrance areas are different. Some are tiles, some are concrete, whatever. We have an allowance in the tender, a provisional sum, to address those if they get broken through the demolition, because the demolition works, which will be carried out by hand within a 300mm width up to the shop front. If any of those tiles get broken even through best endeavours, then we'll replace them.
And my last question is, so we allowed $1 million in the annual plan?
We have, I think it's 500 in the annual plan this year and 550 in the LTP for next year.
And this tender is 766 for the total job?
That's correct.
So we're making a $300,000 saving?
No.
$1.50 million.
We have other items that we are purchasing ourselves.
Okay, that's what I want. That's what I'm trying to find out from you. So what's the total cost of the job going to be?
Around $1.50 million.
So we allowed that, and you came out at that.
Yeah, it's the urban design team and I have designed to budget.
Any further questions? Councillor Mincher?
Just a couple of small things, Andrew. Just been a while since we saw the
Yeah.
final plan and thing. Was there going to be permanent bike racks placed through that part of the CBD?
There are Councillor, there are 10 bike racks on this street.
Well, that's one
We're
thing.
buying those ourselves to give to the contractor to install.
Brilliant, to encourage that. But also, are the crossings still to be raised, or have we moved on from there?
Some are raised. The middle, the ones at either end of Tongariro Street and Repair Street are raised, and the other three are level with the carriageway. Just another thing, just to advise you, the central area, which we're calling the central square, has got power in it. Unison will provide power to us there that can be used for different purposes, for either lighting, for bands, whatever. So we're providing power to there. And as previously requested by council, there's a drinking fountain on the street as well.
Sounds good. Look forward to seeing it. I'm personally a supporter of having a vibrant, exciting, nice CBD in a town. It's a place to go. It's a place to meet people, talk, and you don't necessarily have to go there to shop. But I've also talked to a lot of older people who live in rest homes and have lost their partners. They love going to town. It's just simply to meet people because they're lonely, to be able to sit and talk, and I think it's fantastic. So there is a resolution on the back of that page about accepting the tender again from Fulton Hogan Limited for $766,380 and wait for it, 18 cents. If you could take the cents off, it'd make me happy. Do I have a mover, please? Move Councillor Johnson and secondly Councillor Mincher. All those in favour? Aye. Carried. Look forward to seeing the end result and hopefully not too much disturbance in the process. Thank you, Mr. Bowden.
Very best. Thank you.